I've been here nearly 10 years. My wife, Jodie, is Australian, and our children, Russell and Alice, were born here. Alice is named after my grandmother, her great-grandmother, Alice Bewes. She's 89 now and still lives in Newcastle. Lately, I've become really interested in my family history back in the UK. I've started speaking to my grandmother about it. I've found out that she was the youngest of 9 children and the only one to have been born in England. Her 8 brothers and sisters were all born in Scotland. They came from the very north of Scotland, from some islands called the Orkneys. They worked there as farmers over 100 years ago. My grandmother told me that hundreds of years before that, our family's ancestors were actually Norwegian. They came over to Scotland in the 9th century. She says that's why we all have blonde hair in our family. Anyway, it became more and more difficult for my great-grandparents to make a living farming, so they travelled south. They finally arrived in the north of England, in Newcastle, with their 8 children. Alice was born soon after they arrived.
Take script 7.11. Talking to Grandma.
So, Grandma, your parents were both born in the Orkney Islands, is that right?
Yes. My mother was called Jane. She grew up there, and she married when she was just 17.
And you were her 9th child?
Yes. I was the only one born in England. Times were really hard for my mother. You see, my father died when I was 3. I can't remember him at all.
So what did your mother do?
She worked as a cleaner and a dressmaker.
She had 2 jobs and a big family.
Oh, yes. She was an amazing lady. But my 2 eldest brothers, they got work in the shipyard, so that helped too. All my brothers and sisters have died now. I'm the only one left.
I know. Did you marry young, Grandma?
Oh, no. I didn't marry until I was 22.
That's still young.
It wasn't unusual in those days. And I had only 3 children.
But now you have lots of grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
I do. They live all over the world, not just in Australia.
I know.
Email sometimes too. Email, Skype and texting. It's all really wonderful, isn't it?
It is, Grandma. It's just great talking to you. I've got lots more questions for next time.